I've sold more than $15 million worth of products online over the past 15 years, and in my experience, maintaining healthy profit margins is one of the most important parts of running a successful product-based online business. And I've done videos on that already, but in this video, I'm going to discuss average profit margins and weighted or blended profit margins, because those can be even more important. So let's start with the average profit margin. This one is very simple. Here is the formula. You just add up all of the margins and divide by the total number. This is very easy to calculate as long as you know all of your margins. So let's go over an example. I have a real product here. It's this apple pie moonshine spice mix, something I've been selling for a long time. I sell this as a single, a double, a 5-pack, a 10-pack, and a case of 72. And here are my actual margins for this product. So the single is just over 40%, the double is pushing 50%, the 5-pack and 10-pack are just over 50%, and then the case drops down to 40% because I'm kind of treating that as a wholesale product. So let's just go ahead and plug those numbers into this formula. Here is what we end up with. So we're adding up all of the margins up top, which is 230.4. We have 5 products that we're evaluating, so we divide that by 5, which is 0.461 or 46.1%. So as you can see, calculating the average margin is very easy so long as you know your individual margins, which I happen to. And the reason for that is because I've used this solid strat margin calculator to calculate all of the margins for my product. So, here are all the ingredients. Here is the packaging, the tamper seal, my labor, all of my shipping charges and fees and everything. And for my single here, my margin is 40.4%. You don't need to use this spreadsheet, but this spreadsheet does make it easier. As a bonus, it actually gives you the average gross margin as well. If you want this sheet, you can download it on our website, solidstrat.co. All right, I'm going to move on now to the weighted average. The weighted average profit margin, or the blended profit margin, is this. It's just your overall profit margin across all of your products, taking into account how much of each you actually sell. And to find it, you will just multiply each product's margin by the number of units sold. So in this situation, M equals margin and V equals volume, or the number sold. And then you add all of those together. Once that's done, you divide by the total number of units sold. So this is a bit more complicated, and because of that, I'm just going to use the spreadsheet because I have it here. But I will show you how this formula works out. Like I said, you need to know the gross margin as well as the volume. So I've plugged in volume numbers here. The single kits, they sell fairly well, but not nearly as well as the 2-packs. And really, I think the reason for that, and these aren't exact sales figures, but this is roughly the kind of numbers we do on these. If you buy a 2-pack, you get 10% off. If you buy a 5-pack, you get 25% off. And the discounts keep going up. I've done a video on this bundled pricing. Check that out if you're interested in the logic behind the pricing here. But it really does encourage people to buy more of the discounted products. Not everybody wants 5, but a lot of people want more than 1. They want 2. So they sell pretty well. Now, if we were just to look at the gross margin for these, like we've already done here in the last formula, it's 46.1%. But we can see that we sell a lot more of this 50% margin item here, this 2-pack, than we do of the 40% margin single. And because of that, our weighted average is a bit higher than our average gross margin. It's 48.4%. Now you might be thinking, well, what's the big deal? I mean, why do I need to know this? Because it's pretty close to what I kind of thought it would be just based on the average. Well, what happens if you're selling a lot of a product that has a very low margin? So let's just say you offer a 25% discount on your 2-pack, and because of that, you sell even more. You sell 500. Right now, your weighted average, so your average margin is still above 43%. Why did my camera turn off? Okay, my camera died there. All right, your average margin is still above 43%, but now your weighted average margin is down below 40%. It's 35.9. And if you've watched our other videos on profit margins, that's too low. You need to be above 40% as a minimum. So I hope this makes sense. The average margin is just all of the margins averaged. The weighted average margin, or the blended margin, takes into consideration the number of units sold for each product and gives extra weight to the products that you sell a lot more of. Like I said, you can find the spreadsheet on our website at solidstrat.co. It's $10. It'll make your life a lot easier and probably save you a lot of time. You could build it yourself, but you know, it just depends on what your time is worth to you. So if you like this video, please like it, subscribe, tell your mom, whatever. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.